What up, anybody, and welcome to another episode of the SVR podcast. And today we have a producer, singer, rapper, and finally songwriter. I'm gonna introduce to you. His name is XipZ.
Hello, I'm Lil Zips.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me here.
Alright, man. Are you ready? Because I'm gonna ask you 10 questions about your music and life.
Yeah, I'm ready.
First question of the day. In the beginning of your music run, what made you start your own music?
So, I started making my own music in 2019 when I found Lil Peep, because his music made me realize that I could take my bottled up emotions and then make something better out of it, even if it wasn't the best at the time. So yeah, I started because of Lil Peep. It's kind of basic answer. Probably because I haven't heard anything around the lines of what his music was before, like the sad, and it just hit where nobody else has before. So it made me realize that maybe if I was using my emotions somewhere else other than keeping them inside, like him, I could make something out of it and make it better than just sitting there and being sad. Yeah.
So basically, that's what you do with this style that you have, right?
Yeah, it is exactly what I do.
Moving on to the next question. In terms of influence, how did you really find inspiration for this genre?
So the inspiration I take is mostly from emo artists like Lil Peep, Young Jay-Z's Dead, Lil Tracy, Ghostman. And then when I found friends in the scene that I'm in, I started making a lot of music with them and then take influence from them. So now, when I first started, I was just taking influence from bigger artists that have already done this type of genre. And then I put my own spin to it. But now, since I've found friends in it, I just work with them and take influence from them, because a lot of them have bigger and better ideas. So if I can take that and put my own spin to it, it might sound good.
Alright, moving on to the next one, and that will be what it really represents your music experience.
My music experience has been it's been pretty fun. The only downside of it is people at school finding it and then making fun of it in the beginning, but now nobody says anything to me because I've gotten better. And actually, some of them enjoy some of the songs, but it was pretty bad at first, and then it got better over time because my experience in making music has grown too.
Did they mean a lot?
They were.
Alright, moving on to the next question. That will be, what was your earliest childhood memory that you can remember?
My earliest childhood memory is when I was 5 years old or 6 or 7, I don't remember. But I used to sleepwalk a lot, and then one night I slept walk and walked my way out into the front porch of our, or not the porch, but the front area of our house, and I peed in my stepdad's boots in my sleep. And I still get reminded about this by my family because it's not really heard of. I don't know. I just feel like that's a pretty funny moment in my life.
But are they few moments that sometimes they get you confused and weird to the point where it's like this?
Yes, because sometimes I'll think that I'm sometimes I'll have a dream about something and it'll feel like I'm back in that moment. I'll have a dream about the past and then it'll feel like I'm there in it. And it feels really weird. It feels like you're reliving it because I already lived through it.
Moving on to the next question, and that will be, on your own progression, how has your music practice changed over time?
In the beginning, I would write in a notebook and then record on my phone, which was really bad because I would also record the beat on my phone and vocals and then put them together in an app, and it sounded terrible. And the songs would be terrible. And then when I met I don't know if you know him, but it's another artist called NKNO. But I met him through school and we started making stuff together and he helped me get better at everything and like mixing and he taught me to produce my own music and get better energy while I'm recording. So basically me and him came up together. And that's why we have like a collective together with a bunch of artists.
Alright, moving on to the next one, and that'll be when you feel nervous of something regarding about stuff, what's been your most embarrassing moment in the life?
Well, I always get nervous about like going out in public and stuff. So like there was this very embarrassing moment at school that happened like 2 years ago, I think at this point. I was sitting next to my ex girlfriend at the time, and like we were with a bunch of our friends because like we had the same friend group at the time. And so she wanted to have her first kiss to be me, and then our friend group like peer pressured us into kissing in front of them, and that was very embarrassing because I didn't want that experience at all.
Alright, next question is we talking about your album that you made with Shady 808. And that'll be in the album, hope you're happy with Shady 808. What was your best song that you have ever recorded?
I think that the best song on the album is Hair Dye because I wrote that hook about my girlfriend, and so when I showed her it, she was like really happy about it, and I was just glad that she could be happy about something that I made. But all the songs on that album were like about her. I really like all of the songs, but I just feel like Hair Dye is a little bit better than it. Plus, Popular Reject and Teddy Boy did amazing on that song. And Shady always kills it on beat.
Will you do more duo albums and collaborations?
Yeah, we were working on another EP, but it was in a different style than what Hope You're Happy was in. It's more alternative. And I have other collab projects with like Eno, and I actually have a project with me, Eno, and Madison Nichols. Yeah, it was all three of us.
Alright, moving on to the next question, and that'll be the position of you feeling this way. What was the moment when you really felt mostly motivated?
I think the most motivated I ever been to record was when my girlfriend broke up with me, and I had a lot of emotion built up. And I would also write a lot of songs when that happened, so most of my songs were about her. And then, but I use some of the songs from back then still now because I just never used them when I was recording back then.
Alright, we have two more questions left. Moving on to the next one, and that will be in a time period. What are your music goals at each of these stages?
My goals in music are to have a large enough fan base so I can live off of music. And then my other goal is to make more music with my friends in the collectives that I'm in. Because I just like making music with them, and then all the chemistry of our friendships just makes it better. So like I want to blow up and then like make more music with them because I want them to blow up too if I do.
And finally, the last question of the day before we gonna end it. What's the most important lesson you have learned so far in life?
Probably the best lesson I learned is that even when someone is saying to give up, you really shouldn't, because if I had given up when people at school were telling me to, then I wouldn't have some of the friends I have now, and I probably would be in a very sad place still, because like I was in a very sad place before I started making music. But yeah.
Well, that was it, folks. A little zips. If you have anything to say towards the outro, can you make it somehow?
Thanks for having me here. This was very fun. I never did something like this. Check out my music on all platforms.
And I will see you guys in the next episode with another special guest. Make sure to show him some love. The links of his social media will be linked in the description below as well. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode of the SVR podcast. See you later and ciao.